Welcome back to another episode of SitEcast.
Welcome.
And today we're going to do a side of Kingdom Hearts, and we are
Yep,
your hosts. I am Chris, with me is Justin.
of course.
And where we left off last, by the way, if you're hearing this is a continuation of a previous episode.
Yep.
One of many parts, presumably.
Oh yeah, this is gonna take a long time.
It's going to take
most
forever,
likely.
but it'll be fun the whole way through.
Yeah.
And where we left off was we were still in Traverse Town.
Yeah, we were talking about just like the story and things like that, and then now we're gonna go basically world to world, essentially in the order that you would play. Talk about each world a little bit, and we just didn't finish Traverse Town.
Well, actually, we didn't actually talk about the story at all.
Well, I know. I just mean in general.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the enemies because they're slightly different. The shadows are the same, right? The shadows are the first enemy you actually come across.
Yeah, you fight them on the Destiny Islands.
Right.
Which actually, at that point when you first fight them, there's a lot. I usually kill them until I level up like once or twice. So,
Okay.
but that's neither here nor there.
Is this the first time you see the soldiers?
Yes. It's
Yeah.
because when you first enter the second district, for the first time, you see like a guy run up, and then he like trips. He's like, oh, and then his heart like gets sucked out, and then a soldier pops up, and then like disappears and goes away.
Okay.
But I think you only see the shadows and soldiers in Traverse Town the first time, except for of course the guard armor. But you might see the fire one, red nocturne or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, the
The little flying guy, the elemental flyers. Yeah.
Which I never knew this.
You might actually not see them until Wonderland.
I never knew this, but their names are actually Red Nocturne, Blue
Rhapsody.
Rhapsody, Yellow Opera, and Green Requiem.
Yeah, and then there are other ones in other games and whatnot that are all like, I'm sure one of them's a sonata. They're all like music terms.
Was it Nocturne a music term?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, there you go. And
we have Red Nocturne, Blue Rhapsody, Yellow Opera, Green Requiem.
yeah.
You continue. I'm looking through the list to find the other ones.
So those are pretty much the enemies you encounter your first way through, and so the story up to this
Black Ballad or Black Ballad.
Black Ballad.
That's one of them.
That's awesome. So Sora comes to this place. He's alone. He doesn't really know what's going on, and he's still.
Hold on one second. Sorry, I found more. Silver Rock, Emerald Blues, Crimson Jazz. Continue.
All right. So he's trying to find Riku and Kairi, and at the same time, Donald and Goofy are also looking, and they just keep missing each other.
Yeah, they're like barely. Basically, how it works is wherever you like enter in the second district, they'll just leave somewhere else. Like you can't actually find them.
And then I think he runs into, the Final Fantasy characters first. He meets Leon, he meets Yuffie, and he meets Aerith. And
yeah.
And doesn't
well, no. You meet Squall first, and you fight him in first district, if you remember. And win or lose, you end up at the same place, but you end up in the little inn.
I don't know why I said Leon. I think Squall reminds me of Leon.
Well, his name is Leon in this game, but he's Squall from Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but hold on there. I found some more. There is Scarlet Tango, Gray Caprice, whatever, Striped Aria, Sapphire Elegy, Pink Concerto, Turquoise March, Emerald Serenade.
There sure is a lot.
Yep. And then, that's the whole list. So, but yeah, so you end up in the inn. You talk to him, and the story is being told to you, but it's being told by both Aerith and Yuffie. I think Yuffie's telling you, but it's being told to both Donald and Goofy and Sora. And it's funny because they're actually next to each other, one room apart, but they don't realize it.
Okay, and then
Squall shows up, the Heartless show up.
Right, and then I think Aerith actually runs into Donald and Goofy.
Yeah, she runs into him out walking around and brings him to the
Right.
hotel. Yeah.
And that's I think where they end up meeting. And then
No, they don't. They don't meet yet.
they don't meet yet?
Donald, Goofy, and Sora.
Yeah.
Nah, what happens is the Heartless attack, and then I always remember this line, but Leon or Squall runs up and he's like, "Yuffie, go!" And then he opens the door or whatever, but he knocks it open and smashes Donald against the wall. And then you kind of go into the alley and you fight the Heartless and whatever. But you don't actually meet them until you go to the 3rd district and they explode on that ledge and they fall on you.
Oh, okay.
And then you immediately fight the guard armor, which pretty easy fucking boss. I mean, nothing even on because this latest playthrough I was playing on Proud mode or whatever. It's really not that hard even on that mode, especially early in the game. You would think it'd be pretty hard because you don't have heals yet and you don't have really any gear, but still pretty fucking easy.
Right. When you fight the soldiers and the shadows and the guard armor.
Mm-hmm. Which is a cool enemy. I always thought he was really cool. I don't know why they changed him from purple to white and yellow and really vibrant in the final mix, or I don't know if it's the final mix or the HD final mix, but I liked the older color scheme better for that one.
Yeah, he kind of had they changed his colors just a little bit, made it brighter, and
oh yeah.
Yeah. So then again they decide to kind of get together and they decide to go off and
Search for the king and your friends.
yeah, since they kind of they're both groups are searching for someone, and I think you see Riku in Traverse Town, but he doesn't run into anybody. He just kind of is there.
That's the second time you go, then you do run into him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I think
Chris hasn't replayed the game particularly recently.
no, I
might be a little
replayed
fuzzy.
it within the last couple months, but
Yeah. I've been playing the game recently, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. Actually, I haven't finished it yet. I'm fighting the secret bosses, doing the extra shit. The game's a lot of fun.
he's one of those
It really
completionists.
fucking is.
He's got a
Yeah.
you got 100% it.
Fuck you.
All right, so I guess we're good to go to our very first Disney.
Actual world.
Yeah, the first world, which you don't, one of the nice things about this game, which we should bring up, is the fact that you can choose. I mean, granted, you're either one or the other, but it's nice that they give you the option of, do you want to go to Wonderland or do you want to go to Olympus Coliseum?
Yeah. Well, one sec before we move on from Traverse Town. This is the point where the story basically begins. Stuff has happened and it's started, but once you finish Traverse Town, that's kind of all right, now the journey has begun. What's the first world we're going to go actually fight Heartless in? We're going to go on and search this new frontier.
Yeah, you could look at Traverse Town as just kind of an extended part of the tutorial.
Well, it's like a hub, too.
Yeah.
You just kind of, that's where everything is at. Actually, I think that's where the only vendors are, and the synthesis item is there, the gummy ship stuff is there, Merlin and his shit is there,
Yeah, it is the hub of this
serious.
game. It's the place you go, since you can't synthesize on your own, so you have to go back
And to take it a step further, it's also the place where, I don't know if it's the best, but it seems to be the best for me, it's the place where I farm the Defender Shield from the Defenders in 3rd District, late game, obviously. And the Wizard's Relic from the Wizards in the alleyway behind the hotel.
Okay.
So, yet more reasons to go back. Go figure.
All right. Well, we good to move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So Wonderland, we're going to start with Wonderland because while like we said, there is no specific order you have to go in. There is certain worlds will have higher ranking monsters. So Wonderland is actually supposed to be the first world you go to because it's got the weakest set of monsters as you fight.
Basically.
First off, Justin, did you ever see this version of Alice in Wonderland?
The movie?
Yeah.
The animated film. Not entirely, but I have seen some parts. Like I've seen the smoking caterpillar part, which wasn't in this.
It was.
I saw the part with the what is he, a walrus or something?
Yeah, the walrus and the. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that's about it. I
Oh,
haven't
so
really
the
watched the movie. I'm not hugely like interested in Wonderland or through the Looking Glass or anything.
right.
Although there was a book that both of us read. Did we ever read the second one, the Looking Glass Wars?
I never finished the first one, to be honest with you.
Oh, you never finished the first one?
I did not. I
That's
mean,
just an aside.
it seemed really cool, and I don't remember whatever happened to that book. I swear we bought it at a Comic-Con.
I thought we had. Yeah. We did. I thought we both had a copy, or maybe you borrowed mine.
I think we split one,
I don't know. Either way, doesn't matter.
pretty much. But cool little thing, not a cool little thing, but actually one thing that kind of separates this world from any of the others is it's one of the very few that you don't actually get a companion. Because
That's true.
some worlds will actually give you a companion, like so you can play alongside your favorite Disney characters and
Actually, every single one except for Traverse Town.
because Travis
Wonderland
isn't a
and-
Disney World yet,
Yeah, and then Wonderland and the Coliseum, you don't get companions.
but the Coliseum,
But all of the other, well, and the end of the world, obviously. But
Wonderland
every
is,
other one from Deep Jungle on, you get a companion.
is because Disney Wonderland is even more unique because it makes sense for Coliseum because it's the way it's set up, which we'll get to. But
Exactly.
this one is actually just like all the others besides Coliseum, but it doesn't give you a companion, which makes sense because who would your companion be? The little girl,
Yeah, the Cheshire Cat.
which would I think that's supposed to be a god. So
Really? Oh, that'd be cool.
yeah, you
Oh,
kind
and I forgot Monstro. You don't have a companion in Monstro, but that's not really a world.
no,
Even though it is, but it's not.
it is, but it's not. But so you land on this world, and I thought the design was pretty cool. I mean, it seemed very small in my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seemed very like enclosed,
Yeah,
claustrophobic.
especially compared
it
to some
was
of the other
wacky.
world. It's very
It was
wacky.
definitely wacky,
Yeah,
which keeps in with the the Wonderland theme. Actually, the bizarre room is the room that you like shrink and grow inside.
yeah.
If I remember, there's like four different variations of that room where you're like running on the ceiling and running on the walls and shit like that. It's a pretty cool. Actually, now that I think about it, this is actually a really cool world. It's designed very well. But
Hey.
I think the big reason why it's not one of my favorites is the claustrophobia.
It is very, like we said,
Confined.
it feels that way. I mean, I'm sure it's just as big as every other world, but for whatever reason, it just
Mhm.
the walls. It's because they have
It's entirely indoors.
it's entirely indoors, even though it's got a very outdoorsy feel. Like there's trees and there's plants and there's even a grass maze, but you can see the walls, so you feel very like you can tell you're in a
Stuck.
building. Yeah. Which I don't know why they
Mhm.
did that because in other worlds you're clearly outside.
Yeah, just because. I don't know. They felt like it.
Oh, okay. But anyway, should we get to the?
Hold on. Here's something. Did you think that it could have been done better? Because one of my notes here is what I would do better. If this is something that you think, like how would you change this? For me, it would just be as simple as like if it was exactly the same designed, just the outdoor areas, just don't put a ceiling and walls. Make it outdoors. And I assume that would open it right up.
You know what? I do the same thing. The only thing I'd really change is I think it would have been cool to get a chance to fight the I don't know what they're called, but the suits, the card people.
You do fight them, remember?
I don't remember fighting them.
Well, you don't fight them as like a boss. You like. We'll get to that. Let's cover the story of the world first.
Well, do you
it's
want to
part
start
of
with
the
the story, or do you want to go to the characters that get introduced?
Okay, yeah, we'll go to characters.
All right.
Obviously, Alice.
Well,
like-
I was just gonna go up this list of the journal entries.
Oh, okay, yeah, and go ahead and read them all.
Okay, so first one is card of spades. So they're the black suited enemies.
Yep.
Troops with heavy axes who serve the Queen of Hearts. They fear their short-tempered queen and are careful not to irritate her. Pretty. All right. They don't.
Although, why would they fear her? Like,
Yeah. What can she
she's
do? There's more of her than there are of. I mean, there's more of them than there are of her.
and they have axes and spears.
Yeah, pretty much. And then for the Card of Hearts, which are the red ones, it's the only difference is they're spear-carrying guards, as opposed to. So the Queen of
Instead
Hearts,
of axe.
which I would always go with the axe and a spear, but then again, the spear is lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to go too divergent, but personally, go with the spear, I think.
Plus, the spear doesn't have a weight on one end, so you can probably use it like a quarterstaff.
Yeah, it's very well balanced because the end with the point is going to be a little bit heavier, but the length of the sphere will balance it out.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be heavier either. You could design it with a spear on one end and then like a weight on the other end. Not necessarily a big heavy weight or anything, but just to balance it out.
I see what you're saying, like maybe a handle or something to kind of.
Maybe.
But so the Queen of Hearts, a Queen of Wonderland. That's weird. It says a Queen of Wonderland. Are there multiple Queens of Wonderland?
Maybe not at one time, but I don't think she's always ruled.
Oh, you know what? Yeah,
So
I could see it. So a Queen of Wonderland who lives in a castle with decks and decks of card soldiers, selfish and short-tempered, she beheads anyone who crosses her. She thinks Alice tried to steal her heart, which we'll talk about in the story.
Yep.
But that'll.
And you forgot part of that. She's kind of a bitch.
Compared to.
But it's true. I mean, she is.
Do you know what's weird? Spoiler a little bit for later, but there's a what you would call like a team of bad guys. That you find out exist, and
the League of Evil.
The League of Evil. Yeah, League of Super Evil. And the Queen of Hearts, I don't think is on that team.
Nope.
So
she is not. It is made up of Maleficent, of course. Clayton is not on there.
Clayton is not on there. Captain Hook.
Jafar, Captain Hook,
Oogie
Ursula, Oogie Boogie.
That might be it.
Yeah, is that really it?
Yeah.
Oh, Hades, duh.
Oh yeah, Hades. Which why is he not leading? He's the god, but we'll get to that later as well.
Well, you can beat his ass as Sora, so he's not exactly the strongest of gods.
I know, that's kind of sad.
Or does that just mean that Sora's really retardedly strong?
Especially for a guy that because you can go to the Olympus Coliseum, like the second world. So
yeah, but you can't fight Hades in the Hades tournament until after Hollow Bastion.
Yeah. So the Cheshire Cat, a mysterious grinning cat who talks in riddles and can appear and disappear at will. He loves to mislead and confuse. He entered with a big. Oh, okay. I was reading because each character in the journal it'll say what they're from,
where they originated.
Yeah.
Yep.
The doorknob, a talking doorknob in the door to Wonderland. To enter, you must turn him, and one good turn deserves another, as he would say. Because he's such an important
talking doorknob. He is a doorknob that talks.
Yes.
Insightful.
The White Rabbit, loyal servant to the Queen of Hearts, he led Sora and his friends to the Queen of Hearts castle. And then finally, Alice, probably she's last because she is the most important character on this world.
Yeah.
Fell down a rabbit hole into Wonderland, arrested on suspicion of trying to steal the Queen's heart. Sora and his friends proved her innocence, but the Heartless captured her as part of their plan to open the final keyhole. Well, that was a bit spoilerish, but
yeah, you don't find that out until the very end.
I will say this though: one of the things that I thought was great about this world is when you first enter it, you actually do fall down like a tunnel, and
yeah, like you fall down the rabbit hole.
Right, and it looks really good when you fall down, and because granted everything's like kind of painted onto the wall, so it's very 2D looking, but it still just looks cool.
It's got a great little atmosphere to it.
Yeah. Would you like to say what the general story of them going to Wonderland?
Basically, you show up, you land, you walk into the room, and you're just gigantic. You drink from the table, you get all small. You go over to talk to the doorknob, and he's just like, oh, I'm fucking tired. And then the rabbit's like, I'm late. Which I'm not positive. I might be misremembering, but I feel like the White Rabbit's voice actor is the same one who does Shmi, Captain Hook's like assistant.
In
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
In Neverland, in Peter Pan.
maybe.
But anyway, so you like follow him and you go into the garden, and that's where when you first show up, you see the trial with Alice, and the queen is being a royal bitch, as she is wont to do. And she's accusing Alice, and Alice is like, you may be the queen, bitch. Can you hear the snapping?
Yeah, I get snap, snap, snap.
But that doesn't give you the right to be so mean. And then she's like, you fucking bitch, I'm gonna cut your head off. I mean, essentially.
Pretty much.
Pretty much in those words, too. Off with her head. And then you're like, dude, you can't fucking do that. She's like, who the fuck are you? Like, she goes so mad so fast. And then she's just not mad anymore.
Dang.
But, so she basically orders you to go find evidence of who tried to attack her heart, which obviously you know is the Heartless. And so then you gotta go into the forest, and the Cheshire Cat pops up, and he does his whole shtick. Talks all funny, and he doesn't necessarily make riddles, but he kind of talks in riddles.
Right.
And he's like, there are 4 pieces of evidence. 3 of them are easy, but 1 is not. And so you need to find that one. You'll get a reward if you get them all, and just kind of fucking do that.
And there's that whole thing with the it is a bit of a maze once you get through a certain point, because there's all these like doors, well, not doors, but big black openings,
Pathways
that you want to try to get to, and you have to figure it out. And sometimes
There's like
you have
mushrooms to jump on and stuff.
stuff that has to grow and stuff that has to shrink. And
Mm-hmm.
It's
And there are
pro-
flowers that you can throw stuff on.
now that I think about it, it's one of the more puzzle-filled worlds. I think I think the creators were thinking, well, there's not a central villain that they can fight unless they want to make the Queen of Hearts an enemy to fight. But so we're gonna make it more puzzle-related than
Mm-hmm.
just
And actually, if you find that 4th piece, because the first 3 are really fucking easy. They're like right in the open. But if you find the 4th piece of evidence, you get Blizzard.
nice.
So
Which is the
that
first.
is. Oh, when you get fire, it's the second spell. You get fire when you leave Traverse Town. Squall gives it to you. Well, Leon gives it to you. And then
Okay.
Goofy gives you dodge roll.
So, little aside here, the guy you're thinking of, the guy who does the voice for the White Rabbit, his name is Corey
Yeah.
Burton,
Corey Burton. Okay.
and he.
I feel like I've heard that name.
Well, he's been in like a lot of stuff now that I think about it. Now that I'm looking at this list, but he does not play Shmi in the Kingdom Hearts series. What he plays is the White Rabbit, the Doorknob, and Flotsam and Jetsam.
Oh, nice. It's just because like the I'm late. It just like reminds me of
It
Hey,
is very,
Captain. Like that same like voice. Obviously, I can't do it exactly, but
exactly.
you know, fucking ostracize me for it, Chris. Jesus.
But
But anyway, you find the evidence. You go back to the queen, and she's like, "Oh, you've got all this fucking evidence. Well, I'm gonna throw my own evidence in there," which is just random bullshit because she's a fucking bitch.
right.
And so she's like, checking them all would just be a waste. So just pick a box. And so you pick them, and usually 4 in 1 chance you'll get the Heartless, and then you just kind of do whatever. But that 1 in 5 chance you'll get the box that has Donald and Goofy, and then they'll get taken away, and you'll have to fight all the card soldiers without them. Or I think it's without them. I always get it right because 80% chance, but
Pretty much.
essentially she's like, this is bullshit, and she like because Alice is in like a cage, she covers the cage up and like lifts it up in the air, and then all the card soldiers attack you, and there's like a tower that you have to hit. When it blows up, she comes down. So that's when you actually fight all the card soldiers. But they don't really they're really easy. Like on my character I was melee based, so I literally just tore through them like they were nothing. And then on a previous playthrough I was magic based. 1 thunder took them all out.
Dang.
Which I went to Coliseum first, by the way. And you get thunder from the Coliseum, but
Oh, okay.
it was just easy. Just spam thunder and it would destroy the tower and all the cards around me like it was nothing. It was really funny.
All right.
But So then you save her, but you go over to the cage and she's not there. She's been snatched by the Heartless. And the Cheshire Cat is like, oh yeah, that's what's up. And then I'm not sure, but I think he like drops a hint about there being light or something that you need to light for the bizarre room. And so
Yeah.
you go a little bit further and you end up on like the ceiling. You light the lights, and he's like, the shadows grow darker. And then when you go back to the bizarre room, that's when you fight the Trickmaster or whatever it's called. Is that what it's called? The Trickster or Trickmaster?
I think so. The you're talking
And
about
then
the
you lock the keyhole.
you're talking
The
about
boss
the
of the area.
yeah
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And that's basically the story of the world, which is not bad, but I mean, it could be better.
One of the things that that I forgot to bring up though is going to this first world. You don't really get to see this in the Coliseum so much, but in this world, there are certain chests that you just can't get. You have to
Mhm.
you realize, oh well, I can't get this, and then you realize it's because there's certain abilities like double jump and fly that you have to get before you can get them, and
Yep.
I don't know how you feel about that. I think it's okay that they do this. It gives you kind of a reason to go back to these worlds, not
To
just
go back. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And the Trinities. There's a green Trinity, there's a white Trinity, there's a second green Trinity. And I think that might be it. There might be a blue one, but if there's a blue one, you get it the first time you're there anyway.
Can you get the Trinities at this point?
Yeah, you get the blue Trinity before you leave Traverse Town.
We should probably
And then
talk-
you get the red one when you go back to Traverse Town, the green one after Agrabah, the yellow one after beating the Hercules Cup, and then the white one after you beat Hollow Bastion the first time.
we did talk about the Trinity. Yeah, we talked about the Trinity marks and
Probably.
Yeah.
If not, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
You use all three of your people, you Trinity, you do a special thing, and then you get loot. I mean,
Nice.
I don't really see any problem with it. It's not amazing or anything, but it's just another way to get loot, so I'm
Right.
okay with it.
it's just another feature to do other than just the story.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I guess we can move on to the enemies, even though I guess we can talk about the Trickmaster since he's like the
boss.
big boss of this world.
All
He's
right.
he's kind of a he's kind of hard to
Yeah, his name it is Trickmaster.
yeah, he's kind of hard to describe really. He's just kind of a
He's tall, thin, very thin. His arms are paper. He's got flaming maracas. His hat is a bunch of faces, and his legs are fucking blades. Well, his feet.
yeah.
So, right here it says, Heartless that Sora and company encounter while they search for Alice. His herky-jerky attacks and juggling act flustered Sora and the others. And actually, on Proud Mode, when I fought him, I think I died like 2 or 3 times. So this is a point when you don't have any healing except for like potions. And I always find that on the hard games, the beginning of the games are usually the hardest because you don't have anything yet. Once you develop a strategy, the rest of the game is usually pretty easy. But
Pretty much.
with him, it's pretty easy. You just jump on the thing, avoid his fire, don't let him step on you. But there is one part, and I've noticed a pattern playing through this game. Bosses, when they're close to death, they'll bring out their, like, I don't know if it's necessarily their ultimate move or whatever, but they'll always do something that is just bullshit, and then that's what kills me. So for this one, I think he starts shooting fireballs at you, like rapid fire.
Okay.
And I don't know if I had guard yet, but without guard, you just kind of dodge him. But, I mean, I think even with guard, he might shoot him too fast for you or something. But I just remember there was a problem, and the fireballs fucking killed me. Every goddamn time. What an
Yeah, he
asshole.
can be a pain, but so can most enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as enemies go, he's really easy. He's one of the first real bosses. I mean, he's really easy.
And,
Nothing really special about him either.
one of the unique things for me specifically about this world is that Wonderland does appear in other Kingdom Hearts games, but since I've only played 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, this is the only game you get to play Wonderland in for me.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
but I guess it is in Chain of Memories and 358 over 2 days.
Yep.
So
Yes, sir. But for the Trickmaster boss fight, not necessarily the design of the boss, because who's to say the boss is designed badly or whatever. But as far as the actual fight goes, I think what I would do better is pretty much everything, keep it the same. It was a decent enough fight, but I would add more unique mechanics. Because for the most part, he just kind of walks around juggling the fire, and then every now and then he'll like try to hit you with it. You know what I mean? Until he does the fireball barrage. I would put things like, because for instance, to fight him, you're most likely going to be wanting to get up on the table. Maybe get rid of the table. He just destroys the table, you know?
Right.
Makes it a little bit harder. Halfway through the fight, makes it a little bit harder. That's just because I like things to be harder. Maybe he, gets flayed, because the way his legs work is it's hard to explain, but he can basically flatten himself out on the ground, it looks like. Why not use that as a mechanic? He flattens his legs out so that they're extended outwards and then maybe spins around the room with his blade feet, and then you got to dodge that. Or maybe he'll swing his arm across the ground and it'll be all on fire and you have to jump over it, Just a little bit more to make the boss fight a little more interactive besides jump and hit him in the face. Oh, he's stunned. Now beat on him until he gets back up.
He's not the he's not the easiest boss you're gonna fight, because that belongs to what's his name, Darkseid, or
yeah, the Darkseid Heartless. He's really easy.
He's easy, but he's supposed to be because he's the tutorial boss. But first level boss is gonna be easy, but they do get collectively harder.
Yeah, I think as far as pure difficulty goes, obviously the guard armor is going to be easier because he's weaker. But I think the guard armor's mechanics are harder than the Trickmaster.
Okay, because his limbs can fly off and hit you.
Yeah, you have to worry about him stomping you, punching you. His torso spins around and fucking hits you, and that does a lot. So, I actually like the guard armor a lot more than the Trickmaster.
Okay. So there we go. As a whole, the world has some unique features. So yeah, that's pretty much the Trickmaster. And any other Heartless that really stood out for you? I don't think, again...
Not really.
Yeah.
The Shadows come back. The Soldiers come back, obviously. But I think this is the first area that you're introduced... You're introduced to the Red, which is the Red Nocturne, the Red enemy.
Right.
I think. Pretty sure there's unless it was Traverse Town, but I think it's this one. And then you also are introduced to the Large Body, which, let's talk about him. He, I'm sure, is one of those enemies that a lot of players just don't like. Not because he's particularly hard, but that damn belly.
You know what it is? It's all right. So for those who haven't played, he's a giant fat nobody. As his name, he's a fat body, and he's invincible.
Large Body, yeah.
Is he? Oh, I thought that. Oh, okay, yeah, Large Body. And
it's Fat Bandit is the one.
Fat Bandit, Large Body, gotcha. And he's invincible if you try to attack him on the stomach. So you have to attack him in the back, which can be hard because he's always facing you. So
yeah, and always when he gets about to die, he'll get this like aura around him, and he'll just immediately face you, and then he'll like slap his belly and then run and do this like charge at you.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're not that great, that can be a problem. But as long as you just time a weapon swing or just use guard, you can just block it and then run over and kill him.
Personally, I just use, like we said before, one of the big differences between the way Jess plays and I play. I used the dodge roll religiously. I never used guard.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
I always used guard, and I never used dodge roll until this first playthrough, and it's fucking so good.
Isn't it? It's just... I just like the fact that you roll out of the way, so if they're charging you, well, now you have the advantage because their back is to you. And guard is good, but I feel like you have to be better at timing it just right. I think with the dodge...
but it's not that hard.
No, it's not. It's not, but it's just a little bit harder. So
a little bit annoying also, I'd imagine.
But you do get tech points, which you don't get for dodge roll.
Yeah, and actually, I don't remember this in the original version, so I'm assuming this is Final Mix, but you get abilities called Tech Boost.
Yeah.
So once I saw those, I immediately equipped as many as I could, whenever I could, because I do get tech points a lot, and it got up to the point that I want to say I was getting like 36 experience anytime I like the Fat Bandits, whenever they shot a fireball at me, if I blocked it, it's like, boom, 36. which is not a huge amount, but it's a lot more than fucking 5 or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you start with.
Yeah, whatever the normal experience amount is. Although I did try to use Tech Boost when finding the pink Agaricus, but they give you literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up. They don't. It's not multiplied.
Pretty
But-
much. The Fat
well.
Bandit's the first enemy that you actually face in this game that has a any kind of immunity to anything. Because every other enemy you fight prior to the Fat Body, you could just beat.
The large body.
Sorry, large body. You could just beat by swinging
Yeah,
at
just
him.
buttons. Actually, a lot of this game is button mashing.
Yeah,
But it's button mashing with skill.
But the large body is the first enemy. Like, you'll come across the Fat Bandit, like we talked about, and then you'll come across the worst one, which is the Defender, which is like the Fat Body, but so much worse.
It's so easy. You literally just use stop or gravity.
Which you
Like-
can use on... But, I guess that's true. At this point, you don't have gravity, which...
Yeah, or stop.
Or
At
stop.
that point in the game, the defenders should be cake.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you're like me, I grind a little bit on every level, so by the time I get to the defenders, they're not that difficult. I'm always over-leveled. Always. Just
we really
'cause.
didn't talk about the red nocturne. I don't know what collectively they're called, but they're the little. They look like. The best way I can describe them is take a Hershey's Kiss, bust open the wrapper, like the top of it, have like a little.
Give it a little magic hat.
They're like Vivi, basically. If you've
Yeah.
ever played a Final Fantasy game, they're little Vivis with chicken legs.
They're little black mages, basically.
Yes. And
And they got little poking out, little like chicken feet.
they're almost like
Super.
gonna get a super nerdy here, but they're almost like the baby Digimon. don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very small and they've got like big eyes and well, actually, they don't even have eyes. They just have these like yellow dots.
Those are their eyes.
Actually, now that I look at it, all the Heartless have yellow dots for eyes.
Yep.
I don't know why I've never really noticed that, but all of them yellow dots.
Because you're not observant, you son of a bitch.
I don't care what they look like. I just want to know how to kill them. But yeah, all they really do is they're color coded. So the red ones are gonna just shoot a fireball at you. They're really weak. It's just they hit you from a distance and they tend to swarm.
Yeah, they always pop up with groups. And they like jump and fly around like crazily.
Yes. And there's a fun mini game which we'll get to with involving them in Deep Jungle.
Yeah, there's a special one, the Black Ballad.
Yep. And I think that's it really for Alice in Wonderland. Unless there's really any.
Obviously, when you go back to it later, there's a lot more areas you can go to, and there's actually quite a lot of treasure. But for the most part, it's a pretty straightforward, simple level.
You know what now that I'm really thinking about it, they didn't really do a Jiminy's Journal of all the characters because there is the Mad Hatter and the.
Yeah, but you don't actually meet them. There's just a picture of them.
Oh, okay.
Like, you do come across their little table, and you can sit in all the chairs and get various, like, prizes. But you don't actually meet them.
That's true. But so then, if your favorite character was the Mad Hatter, or the what's the rabbit's name?
The crazy rabbit, I don't know.
Mad as a hare or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, if those were your two favorite characters, you're gonna be disappointed because they're not in this game.
Yeah, then fuck you!
Pretty much. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yep. All right, let's move on
moving
to Olympus Coliseum. Olympus.
So if you could not tell from the
Coliseum.
name Olympus Coliseum, it is the world based off of Hercules, the movie.
And it is indeed a Coliseum.
You've seen this movie, right, Justin?
Hercules?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tons of times.
Did you enjoy this movie?
Of course I did. Come on, I can go the distance.
It's Michael Bolton doing
How could you not love that movie?
It is pretty.
So you wanna be a hero, kid? Well, whoop-de-doo. It's got freaking Danny DeVito. Come on.
And it's got who played Hades? I should know his name.
Oh, it's fuck. I know the name too. It's like on the James Woods.
James Woods. Which, okay, by the way, I learned about this later. when they went up to James Woods to audition for the part, they had this idea of what Hades was going to be like, and James Woods, he even says, "I don't know what came over me, but I just felt like, you know what, I'm just going to do it my way," and they loved it.
And they loved it. Absolutely. Dude, Hades is literally the best character in that movie by far.
The only thing that sucks about that, the fact that James Woods is Hades, is that you don't really appreciate Zeus's voice. I think they got the perfect guy to play
For Zeus, Rip Torn?
Is that his name, Rip Torn?
Yeah.
He just bellowed like you could believe that would be the voice of Zeus. I think.
Yeah. And you know what's funny?
So,
Rip Torn, I think, is the voice of... did you ever play God of War 3?
very little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure he's the voice of Hephaestus later. So not only
He's
is he
just
motherfucking...
He's literally got the
Zeus.
voice of the gods.
Yeah, and he's Zed or Z or whatever in Men in Black. He's like the leader.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Like in the live action movies?
and he's Patches O'Houlihan.
Dude, okay, now that you put up like a face to the name, I'm like, holy crap, Rip Torn.
Yeah, yep,
Uh,
Rip Torn.
so one thing, now that we come back from that, it's that little side trip there. One thing you're going to notice about this place, the Olympus Coliseum, is that it's massively different from every other world because it's not really a world to discover. You don't go and fight enemies. It's called the Olympus Coliseum because you only go into it to play in a tournament.
Yeah, it's just a series of tournaments. Yeah,
Yeah, you walk in.
oh, cups. The Phil Cup, the Pegasus Cup, the Hercules Cup, the Hades Cup, and then the Platinum match, the Gold match. You know.
Right, and there's only 3 areas. The area you first walk into, which is this huge empty space with it's got a couple things
Statues and braziers.
right, and there's some hidden things like there's a Trinity mark and like I think one chest in that.
No, there's like 2 or 3 chests.
Oh, okay, but it's a pretty open area. You meet Hercules and then you
can
walk
put
into
out the fires to get stuff.
Yeah,
whatever.
one of the cool things is there's actually tapestries that when you first get there are empty, but as you beat the tournaments,
they fill up.
And it's kind of cool to see that.
And then when the Hades Cup comes out, because the tapestries are on both sides of the walls, when the Hades Cup comes out, it's just plastered over one of the walls.
Yeah, forget this.
So that's kind of cool. It's because it's like 50 rounds as opposed to like 15 or 10 or however much pretty much all the other ones are.
Another interesting thing about this, if you're curious, because I was, Olympus Coliseum is one of the most popular worlds. It was so popular in Kingdom Hearts 1 that it's become a staple. It is in every single Kingdom Hearts game out there.
Sweet. That's good because it's fucking awesome, dude. And Hercules is a boss.
He is. He really...
Although the actual fight with him is really easy.
Yes.
He is a total pushover. He's kind of a bitch. Cerberus is harder, in my opinion.
But, so I guess we'll do what we did and start with the characters.
Okay.
Alright, so
read them off.
First character, Cerberus. Guardian of the entrance to the underworld and Hades' loyal servant, Herc defeats him once, but Hades brought him back to fight Sora and his friends. Now, when they say he beat him, in the movie, if you recall, he doesn't really beat him. He just kind of rides in on him. Do you remember that? He busts into Hades' whatever room he was in. Riding Cerberus, which, by the way, I'm sure he couldn't, but you know how awesome that would be for Hercules to be riding Cerberus into battle?
Oh, man, pure brick-shooting amazement.
It really, really would. Okay, so Hades next. Lord of the Underworld, he's using the Heartless to try to take over the world. Hades wants Herc and Sora out of the way, but all his schemes against Sora and the others seem to end in failure.
Oh, of course.
This brings up a good point. So, Hades is the first villain that you meet that's on the... I don't think they have a name for the group that we were talking about with the villains.
Yeah. Well, they might.
They might.
There might be a name that they don't say.
Could be. But as far as we know, there's no name. It's just... But...
I'm gonna look it up, but yeah, continue.
Once... what you see as a common thread with with all the Disney villains is that they're using the Heartless to do whatever it is they want to do. Like Hades wants to rule Olympus, and so he's trying to use the Heartless to defeat Hercules, and so any Disney themed world, it's a safe bet to just assume that, oh, okay, the villain of the movie is using the Heartless to beat the hero, and Sora's there to help.
Yeah. Well, except for Deep Jungle, but for pretty much all the other ones, yeah. Basically.
Well, no, because he uses he uses Heartless, doesn't he?
Well, what happens is the darkness in his heart, Clayton, the darkness in his heart calls the Heartless to him. But he's not actually like a user of them.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty sure, because, you fight him with the stealth snake, but I'm pretty sure Maleficent later says something like, he opened his heart and it called the Heartless or something, but he couldn't handle it or, what have you.
Oh, okay.
And I guess it's just called the Disney Villains Council. The Council of Villains.
Council of Villains, okay. So the next
pretty cute.
Next guy, the Ice Titan. Defeated once by Hercules, he received new powers from Hades and resurfaced. His body is made of large blocks of seemingly impregnable ice, but the ice shaping his face is quite fragile. Naturally, he's weak against fire. So kudos for Hades, because the last I checked, Hercules threw all the Titans into space and they exploded. Now, I get it, they're Titans, so they're cosmic beings. But dang.
But still.
That is... By the way, should we talk about the Ice Titan fight now or save that for later?
We can, if you want to. No, let's save it till later. Let's save it till later when we actually go over the super bosses.
Okay, so... But there's a hint. You do get to fight an Ice Titan.
Yes. And a Rock Titan.
Which is the next character.
Look at that.
Right, Rock Titan.
And you fight him in the Hades tournament as the #1 fight.
Right, because we're going to talk more about it, but Rock Titan is definitely easier than the Ice Titan.
Oh, the Rock Titan is easier than pretty much everything in the Hades tournament.
Yeah, he's the easiest. Which is sad because he's a Titan, but...
And he's literally the #1 fight. Like, he's the last fight to beat it.
And he's so easy that you're like... It's kind of a bit of a letdown, really.
I might have just been overpowered and overleveled, which I probably was, but, like, literally the fight for me against him was, like, throw on Aroga, or Aurora, because I don't think I had Ga yet, and then just hit him in the foot a couple of times. Oh, look, he tried to stomp me? Jump. Oh, he missed. Hit him. Oh, he fell down. Jump on his face. Beat on his face. Oh, I almost killed him in one fucking go. All right, knock him down. Oh, look at that. Killed him. It was so easy.
There you go. So, the Rock Titans thing is immortal giant in the form of a stone crag. He has 2 heads, but can only think with 1 at a time. Defeated once by Hercules, he's now on the loose again, courtesy of Hades. That's kind of an interesting...
That sucks.
That he's got 2 heads, but can only think with 1 of them at a time.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Seriously, like, what's the...
That's a design flaw.
You know what would have been cool? I get it why they chose the Rock Titan and the Ice Titan, but you want to talk about a super hard boss, try the Magma Titan or the Fire Titan, whatever he was.
Or the Cyclone.
Or the Cyclone, because they don't have a physical form, so you'd have to really think about it.
One of them is made of lava.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
How are you going to fight that?
I guess you have to blizzard him to death.
I guess so. Actually, that would be a pretty cool idea for a fight. You use blizzard on him, and after a couple of times, it like cools him, and then it like stuns him for a little bit, and that's when you can beat on him to do damage.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But whatever.
So the next one is Phil, Danny DeVito. I wonder if did they get Danny DeVito to play the?
It sounds like it. I couldn't tell you for sure, but it does sound like him in the game.
Okay. So, Phil, the satyr, is a veteran trainer of heroes and Herc's mentor. These days, he's very busy running the Coliseum and choosing competitors suitable for the games. To be honest, though, I mean, most of the competitors are actually heartless.
Yep. I think he even says, like, when you go to do the first tournament or something like that, he's like, got some weirdos signing up this time, and then it's the heartless.
Oh, I thought he was talking about, like, spoilers. He was talking about Cloud and Sephiroth.
Well, I don't think he was talking about Sephiroth because he doesn't show up till way later. He might have been talking about Cloud, but I thought he was just talking about the Heartless in general because they are kind of really weird.
Okay.
Like if you just look at a Heartless, they're just strange, you know? Like they look awesome. I always thought that like since I was a kid, I always thought the Heartless were really badass. Thought they were really like a really fucking cool idea for villains, but
Right.
they are very odd.
Pretty much.
So,
Uh, and then last but not least, Hercules, a legendary hero with godlike strength. He's the son of the gods, Zeus and Hera, but not a god himself. The people regard Hercules as a true hero.
yeah.
Which,
I gotta watch Hercules now. God damn it.
it's such a good movie.
The movie's just good. I just like it.
You know, it's
From my past.
I'm surprised they chose Hercules because the actual story is kind of very adult and very like for instance,
Yeah.
Hercules is actually not the reason he's god. He's a demigod and not a real god, true like a whole god, is because he's the son of Zeus and an immortal. But he
Yep.
is married to Hera, so they were like, well, why don't we just do this whole thing where, Hera's not a monster. She's actually a nice person. And I like what they
Yeah.
did with it, though.
Which Hera kind of is a bitch.
Yes, hands down.
But the whole pain and panic, what is it, like golden juice that will kill him or some shit? But he doesn't drink
It's not
that
like golden juice.
last drop.
It's like a dark juice that they, how do you
Oh,
kill a god? Yeah, the juice that they get is like dark. It's not golden.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I must be thinking of something else.
but
The fuck, Chris?
but they give it to him, and he doesn't drink the very last drop, which was like, so okay. Keep this in mind. He doesn't drink one drop, and he keeps his massive strength. What if he hadn't drinking like 2 drops?
Would he be fast?
Like
3 drops. Would he be able to, jump super high?
Like how incredibly, I mean, granted he's a god, but just imagine how incredibly powerful he would have been if he would have just kept a couple more drops in the bottle.
seriously.
Dang. But yeah. So move on to the story.
Hold on, is that all the characters?
Yeah, that's all the characters.
I guess Cloud doesn't show up there because he's like a main character.
Yeah.
But we can talk about Cloud.
Okay.
Because you do find... Well, we'll talk about him in a second because he shows up in the story very shortly. So basically the story, you show up, you're just like, okay, there's nothing kind of going on here. You go into the room. Phil is trying to like move this giant stone block. And then he's just like, hey, would you take care of that? He's like, are you talking to me? He's like, yeah, over there, or whatever. So you go over there and you try to move it, and it's like, oh, weighs a ton. He's like, I can't move it. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, and he like turns around. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you guys are fucking pussies. It's like, why don't you get out of here? He's like, what are you doing? And we're setting up for the game.
For the games, yeah.
Or what have you. And he's like, oh, well, we want to be in that. He's like, well, you can't. You ain't hero. 2 words. You guys ain't heroes. Something like that. And then you go to leave, and as you're leaving, Hades shows up, and he's like, hey, little buddy, thought I saw you want to get into the fucking games over there. Well,
Okay.
I kind of have. And then, like, the ticket, like, appears or whatever, and then, oh, okay. And he's like, just have fun, whatever. And then he just leaves. So it's like, okay, you go back in, you get to do some, like, preliminary shit where you got to break barrels, which is easy, but just ultimately, I would have just taken that out. Or
Yeah.
at the very least, if you need a preliminary, just instead of breaking barrels, just fight some easy enemies. Whatever,
Yeah.
And then eventually he lets you like join the first actual thing, which is not an actual cup. It's not the Phil cup. It's just its own like story cup.
Yeah.
And there's like a short scene with Cloud and Hades talking. I think you fight a couple of guys first, and he's like, "You're going up next, so be sure to do whatever."
Yeah.
And then there's this really fucking awesome scene. It's the best part of the tournament, or the Olympus Coliseum, except for the Sephiroth shit, where Sora's like walking off of back in from the like arena, and Cloud is walking out there, and they like pass each other in slow motion, and he just looks at him, and Cloud in this game just looks so fucking cool.
Yes.
And then so you continue the tournament, and then you eventually fight Cloud, and it's like, holy shit, he's Cloud, and he's actually really, really, really fucking easy. But if you're not expecting him, obviously he could beat you, but for the most part, he's pretty easy. And then you like beat the thing, and you get accolades or what have you, but you're not a true hero. And then throughout the game, you come back for other tournaments, and then eventually, once you beat the Hercules tournament, Hercules is like, oh wait, no, hold on, I forgot. After you beat it, you fight Cerberus.
Okay.
And Herc saves Cloud. You fight Cerberus, you beat Cerberus, you're not a true hero. Then after you come back and you beat the Hercules Cup, that's when you get the Trinity. Hercules obviously is like, holy shit, you beat me. Whoa, that's fucking cool. You move the block, you seal the keyhole. That's all the story. It doesn't have a whole lot of story going on.
Right, there's not a lot of story for the Coliseum. It's mostly just the cups.
Yeah.
But
it's still badass. You get to fight Cerberus, you get to fight Cloud.
Do you want to do the cups?
So.
Do you want to do all the cups right now, or do you want to do them? Because
Sure.
you don't get to do all the cups one after the other.
Right
you
away.
have to do certain things to unlock the cups.
I think you get the Fill Cup after Deep Jungle.
Nah.
Well,
okay, I don't actually know. I'm looking at it, and it says what you have to do to get the cups.
Oh, then you say it.
Okay, so to get the Fill Cup, you have to seal the Traverse Town keyhole.
Yeah, which is after Deep Jungle.
Okay, and then to get the Pegasus Cup, you have to complete Monstro.
Okay.
Then to get the Hercules Cup, you have to seal the Halloween Town and the Neverland keyholes.
Okay.
Hades Cup, you have to seal the Hollow Bastion keyhole.
Hollow Bastion, yep.
And then to get the gold match, which is the secret bosses, you have to beat the Hades Cup, and then to get the Platinum, you have to seal the keyhole in Hollow Bastion and unlock all the other cups.
Yep. Basically.
Which
And
doesn't
the
make
Fill Cup, really easy. Nothing special. You fight Cloud, I think, at one point. Maybe not. But it's pretty easy. The Pegasus Cup, again, pretty easy. Although there's a really cool fight. I think the last fight is... it's either the last fight or it's one of the fights, but you get to fight Yuffie and Leon. And actually, that was one of the things I really liked about this game that I wish they just did more. And they actually did it pretty well in the Kingdom Hearts 2. But I liked seeing the Final Fantasy characters fighting in this world. Like, I loved fighting Cloud and Sephiroth. I liked fighting Squall and Yuffie, and I mean, you never get to fight Aerith, you never get to fight fucking Tifa. Tifa's in the second game.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I liked fighting those characters because it was just fun for me.
Pretty much. Kind of a cool thing, you do get to fight a bunch of enemies in the tournaments. You get to fight a whole bunch, a slew of the enemies you've fought up to this point.
Oh yeah, tons of experience.
Yeah. In the Pegasus Cup.
And there are 3 variations. Normal, solo, timed. And you get prizes. So.
You do get to fight Leon and Yuffie.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind
the
of...
Hercules Cup, you get to fight Hercules. And that one you get to fight Cloud again.
Now let's... Okay, we need to talk about that, because that was... For me, that was disappointing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So Hercules is supposed to be this... You would figure he's this monster. You know, he's got all this strength. He can beat Cerberus by himself, which you do as well. But he makes...
Well, you do with Donald and Goofy after he's weakened him.
Exactly. But when you fight him, they just nerfed him so bad. Like, most of the time, it's just he winds up his fist, like, in a very comical style, and then charges at you. Not even really charges, he just, rushes forward a couple of inches. Maybe like a...
Yeah, he, slides forward when he punches.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even do that much. Even on Proud Mode, it doesn't do that much damage.
He's very easy, and it's
He
kind of...
spins with his sword. That one's pretty easy. You just kind of roll away from it. And he'll, run at you with his head down to, bull rush you.
Yeah.
That can kill you if you're not ready for it, though. That will fuck you up.
Yes.
And then everything else from that is just when you are, after you knock his shield off, when he goes to put it back on, he'll, do, a energy blast around him. Which, awesome. That's cool that he's got an energy, fucking wave or whatever.
You do also fight Cloud in this one, too, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's now got the Omni Slash, so that's kind of a lot harder now that he's got...
Is that the one where he flies around?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, that Actually, I have it written down right here, so I'll go ahead and cross this off. Hercules Cup. Cloud hits hard. Late game enemies hit hard. So basically, what I was thinking about when I wrote that one down is I've been playing Proud Mode, and for a good portion of the game, the very beginning of the game is a little hard because you don't have anything yet. So I grind right before fighting Clayton. When you beat Deep Jungle, you get Cure. So then the rest of the game becomes pretty easy after that because you can heal. So everything's easy and easy and easy, and I'm just slaughtering enemies, sometimes killing Heartless in one hit. It's all cakewalk. Hercules Cup, I go to do it the first time. Cloud fucking uses his Omni Slash and one-shots me. I was like, holy fuck! Because I tried to dodge away, but I didn't dodge fast enough, or I dodged the wrong way, or so he still caught me with his blade, and it just one-shotted me. So, at about this point, when the Hercules Cup becomes available, or what have you, I just noticed that the enemy's damage spiked like crazy, especially with Cloud. He will fuck your shit up if he touches you.
Yes.
He's so strong. Which is badass, because he's fucking Cloud.
Yeah, because it makes sense. That,
Yeah.
Because if you've ever played Cloud, I mean, especially towards the end of the game,
7.
it's monstrous.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7.
A little bit of trivia for this cup. There is a glitch in the time trial mode in which if you reach Hercules with time still on the clock, you can select restart in the pause menu and fight Hercules with the clock frozen at whatever time you had left.
Oh, wow.
So
Did not know that. That's cool.
It's kind of a huge cheat.
That is a huge cheat. Because that was actually the big problem I had with beating it in timed mode, was I would get to Hercules with like maybe a minute left or something, and it's just... the fight is time consuming because you have to knock his shield off and then hit him and then wait for him and then knock his shield off. And so a lot of times I would lose because I would run out of time. But anyway, so that's the Hercules Cup. Pretty simple. You get a nice shield from... actually, you get a really nice shield from beating it, which I gave to, obviously, Goofy.
Right.
And used... well, yeah. Well, what I mean is I used it because it was pretty strong.
Oh, okay.
But then you get the Olympia Keyblade, I believe. And that thing was monstrous. That was my first like really good Keyblade that I used for quite a long time until I finally replaced it with probably Oblivion or something,
Yeah.
But that one was fucking strong, which is good because I'm all about strength because I was offense-based. But so definitely worth doing.
Moving on
to the Hades Cup.
Hades Cup. All right, so this one.
Big difficulty spike.
Oh yeah, but
50
this is late game by this point.
Yeah.
You have to fight. Your
This
Heartless.
is not even late game. This is end game content.
Pretty much. I mean, some of the villains, some of the guys you have to fight, other than your general Heartless, is you have to refight Yuffie, you have to fight Cerberus, you have to fight Cloud again, you have to fight
Cloud and Leon at the same time.
at the same. So Yuffie,
Which is one of the most fun battles, by the way.
Yuffie and Leon, like any other boss you will ever play in any game, once you get down like their style, their what do you call it? I'm dropping the word. The mechanics of their movements and everything, how they're going to attack you. You can figure it out. But Cloud and Leon together is kind of hard.
Basically, you go. Sorry,
I died at least 3 times trying to figure out the best way to take them out.
Oh yeah. So basically, Leon and Yuffie, what I always do makes them super easy. You target Leon. And you just wait. Yuffie will fucking throw her little shurikens at you, and you just guard and knock them into Leon, and it'll stun him for a second. So then you go to her, you cast Stop, you run over, and you just beat the shit out of her face. And you can usually kill her in like a second because she's just easy, right? Then you take on Squall, and it's the same thing. You use a combination of Stop, hit him a bunch of times, Stop, hit him a bunch of times, Stop, hit him a bunch of times. He pulls out the giant fucking sword, you dodge, roll away. Run over there, hit him, dodge, roll, run over, hit him, dodge, roll. Not too hard. With Cloud, by the way, it's the same thing I do with Cloud, just abuse Stop, because it just makes him a cake, a cakewalk pushover. The Stop doesn't last very long, but the fact that you get a combo in, while you're hitting him, he's being hit by a second combo, and if you have arrow up, it's hitting him also, so he's not getting a lot of hits in on you. But when you fight the two at the same time, the big issue is, do I take out the one that does way more damage or the easier one? Like, do I kill the guy first that's easier to kill, or do I take out the one that will fuck me up, which is Cloud? So what I usually do is I will just stay away from Leon because he usually just kind of walks at you. I
Yeah.
mean, he doesn't really do much. He just kind of walks at you. So you just kind of stay away, keep your eye on Cloud. He'll probably be doing his Sonic Blade all over the fucking place as he loves to do. You just kind of wait, and then occasionally Leon will shoot fireballs at you. So you just knock the fireball back into him, and it should stun him. And then switch over to Cloud, stop, beat on him, whatever, and then just kind of rinse and repeat until Cloud is done. And then Squall is cake from
Yeah.
there.
Squall
So-
is actually kind of easy compared to because he, like Justin said, he
He's
just kind of
slow.
he walks at you. I mean, he will run every once in a while, but
And he does good damage.
yeah, it's just compared to the other guys that you fight, he's just kind of
He has no Sonic Blade. That's probably the reason Cloud is so hard, is because you get near him and then he just Sonic Blade, Sonic Blade, Sonic. Especially in the next fight. The first fight with him, he maybe he'll do like once or twice. But later on, he'll do it like 18 fucking times in a row. And then he'll fly up in the air, zoom in on you, or like, not zoom in, but scope in on you or whatever, like fly over to you, stab the ground, and that will do a shit ton of damage. So he's way fucking harder.
yeah,
But still not too hard.
not compared to Hades. Now Hades was kind of
As
Wow.
a kid, he always gave me trouble. But when I fought him in this recent playthrough, he was nothing.
yeah, because
Literally nothing. Like, I don't think he ever did any damage to me.
it's because he's all right. I've noticed that a lot of except for the super bosses, taking them out,
Mhm.
the bosses that can do a lot of damage to you, the way they compensate with that is by giving them very predictable move sets.
Exactly. Hades throws a fireball, knock it back.
Yeah,
Hades shoots fire at you, run away. Like,
Pretty much.
that was the whole fight.
the whole point of that is you get hit. You're not going to necessarily die in one hit unless you may be in the hardest difficulty, but you won't.
The thing that will kill you with Hades is, I don't know if you remember, but he'll be like, feel the heat. And then he puts his arms out and just sprays walls of fire and then spins.
Yeah,
That's what will kill you, because he'll go fairly quickly, and it'll hit you, do some damage, and kind of like stun you for a second, and then if you're not quick enough, he'll hit you with the next one, and he'll just kind of like kill you. Like,
okay.
and actually, what I would do better with Hades, I wouldn't change anything. I think he was perfect.
Yeah, he's perfect. I think they even got James Woods to play him again, which is how you should do it.
Yeah, but the fight itself was
Yeah.
just perfect. It was just the right amount of difficulty without being too hard, and it wasn't too easy. He did decent damage, and he definitely represented Hades well. He had fire fucking everywhere. He would
Yes.
throw fireballs at you. He would shoot fire out of his hands. He would spin and shoot fire out of his hands. He would do this like fire punch. Like, he was pretty cool. Oh, he would like snap and it would burn you. Like, he was pretty good.
Pretty much.
And then Cloud, I wouldn't change. Yuffie, I would just make a little bit harder, and then Squall, I would make him faster. But for the most part, they're all fairly decent.
And then you move on to what, like we said, kind of a disappointment was the Rock Titan. He is the last guy, and it's just because he's, like I said, same with Hades. He deals a lot of damage, but he's just too predictable. You really, like, I guess if Kingdom Hearts is the very first game you've ever played, the Rock Titan might seem hard, but if you got past Hades, the Rock Titan is just a cakewalk.
Well, for me, when I fought him, it might just have been that I was just too strong, but literally all he ever tried to do to hurt me was like it was like he was just trying to step on me, and you literally just take a step away or jump and he misses you, and then that's the whole fucking fight.
Pretty much. And then
So what I would have done better, unless you would like to, go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just wail on him. That's all you had to
Yeah,
do.
basically.
He'd stomp, wail on him, stomp. I mean, dodge, roll out is what I would do, and then pretty much,
It's pretty easy.
if I would give him a new ability, it'd be kind of cool. If do you remember the Ice Titan had spikes that would come out of the ground?
Yeah, the like icicle spears that'll like chase you.
I think that would have been cool, or maybe he could have had like rocks falling from the sky or something. Just kind of.
Yeah. He could have like punched the ground and made rocks come up out of the ground.
Or maybe he'd punch the ground, and if you were on the ground, you would like there'd be an earthquake, and he would do some damage.
To beat it, you have to jump and glide.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would have been
Or-
a really.
I think also what he does is when you knock him down, I think he tries to bite you.
Oh yeah,
when
his
they
head
on his
snapped
face.
at you, kind of like a turtle.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's fucking nothing. That's nothing.
So what would you
Give him the. Maybe he leaps in the air and crashes onto the ground. And if he lands on you, he fucking kills you. You know? Just add some danger to the fight.
some danger?
Danger, danger, danger.
Do we want to talk about the gold match and the platinum match, or save that for when we get to the?
Super bosses. Those are super bosses. So.
All right.
We'll save.
Is there anything else about Olympus Coliseum that we've covered a lot?
We have, but there's a lot to cover on this level.
It is. There's a reason why it is the
one of the best.
The level that's in every game because it's a fan favorite.
It's just so much fun. Like really, when it comes down to it, tournaments are just fun. That's why you see them in every goddamn anime. They're just fun. It's fun to see that competitiveness. They're not fighting to kill each other, although in this case you do kill all the Heartless. They're not fighting to, for any reason other than who's the best,
Right.
And it's just fun, the spirit of friendly competition. I like tournaments. I just wish, as I probably already said, I just wish there was more like Final Fantasy characters and there were more combinations of them. I think it would have been awesome if you could fight Cloud, Yuffie, and Squall at once, but that's just me.
Okay.
And Yuffie, just make her better. I mean, she could have been better. She's got a cool style. She stays away from you. She throws shuriken at you and all that. But she's just so simple and easy.
Pretty much. Little trivia here is that you can actually beat the game without ever entering the Olympus Coliseum. Like you never actually have to go in there. But if you do, here's kind of a cool thing: if you go there for the first time after sealing Hollow Bastion, because you can do that, the whole scene where Hades is talking to Maleficent still happens, but without Maleficent there. So it's just kind of monologuing.
That's kind of funny. Never knew about that. Oh, and it should be mentioned that you learn Thunder here.
Which is such a great ability.
It really is. It's so good.
But,
and I don't think you get introduced to any new enemies, but if you do, it's probably the Blue Rhapsody.
Yeah, that's about
Blue Rhapsody.
So I think we're good to move on to the third world.
Which,
is Deep Jungle.
Deep Jungle.
Okay.
Yes. Well, technically it's the fifth, but...
The what?
The fifth, but we're not counting Traverse Town and Destiny Islands.
Oh, right. So, I know you've seen Tarzan.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Tons of times.
So, quick question.
And again, I know all the songs. I love it. It's great. I love
Which do you like better, Tarzan or Hercules?
Oof. Dude, you can't... What do you like better? You can't be springing these questions on me. Shit.
It's really hard. They both have... I love the characters, Hercules and Tarzan.
I like Tarzan more than Hercules. Not movies, the character.
Right.
Because Tarzan's just so fucking cool.
I think I have to give it to Hercules only because... And this was a tough one. Only because Hades as a villain is better than...
so much better than Clayton.
Though
Clayton is really cool for what he is.
Clayton's cool, but as far as villains go, his whole motivation is just, I want to poach these animals to get money.
I'm hunting gorillas. The gorillas. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta give it to Hercules purely on Hades. I like Tarzan better than Hercules, but I like Hades better than pretty much anything in Tarzan. Plus, the Greek mythology is pretty cool. And I do like the way they portrayed the muses as all the black gospel singers or whatever.
Right.
That was really cool.
I mean, Phil Collins is just, Phil Collins. I liked his songs in this movie.
Yeah, but I do like the songs in Hercules more.
Yeah.
That's the gospel truth.
So here's kind of an interesting thing. Going from Hercules to Deep Jungle. Hercules, like we said, is not in every game I found it. It's not in Dream Drop Distance.
Oh, okay.
But it is in every other game. But Deep Jungle, for whatever reason, is only in the original game. It does not appear in Chain of Memories or any other game, or even in the manga adaptation.
Huh.
Maybe this was just a very
strange.
maybe it's just an unpopular level.
I don't think it was that bad, though. It was a little bit. Yeah, it was a little annoying at times, having to go from the very top to the very bottom over and over again.
Okay, here it is. The reason why isn't because of unpopularity. It's because Edgar Rice Burroughs still held the copyrights to Tarzan.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So they, I don't know. I guess that made it hard for them to do things with it.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So
actually, there is a fan theory. I don't know if you've heard this about how Tarzan is the son
of the Tangled chick.
Yeah, Rapunzel and Eugene, who crashed their ship, leaving a big party, which it was at Anna and Elsa's kingdom from Frozen, and then the ship that Ariel saw was that ship or some shit like that.
Just kind of connecting all the worlds together.
Mm-hmm. Which is really cool. And if there's any like universe that exists in, it's the Kingdom Hearts universe.
Okay.
Because they all are connected, but.
So I guess a good way to start, like we've done every other world, is with the characters.
Alrighty, so shoot.
All right, so first one is Sabor, the leopard. Yeah, leopard.
Yep.
A leopard feared by
which is a woman, by the way. Sabor is a girl.
Do they ever say like she or?
In the movie, I believe they do. Yeah.
Okay. A leopard feared by all who live in the jungle and an enemy of Tarzan and the gorillas, Sabor is a cunning hunter who targets the weak and the helpless. The reason they say this is because in the movie, the Sabor
goes after the babies.
Well, he eats the baby gorilla, but she attacks a full Tarzan's parents, who are two adults, one with presumably a gun.
Yeah, that's true. But does eat them.
He does eat them, which if you look,
presumably.
Sabor doesn't look like he took any damage, so.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Clayton, a veteran hunter, Jane's guide on her expeditions to the jungle, he thinks of animals only as prey. His lust for power and the darkness in his heart attracted the Heartless, and they used him for their own evil purposes.
There you go.
Like you said, he doesn't really. It's not so much that he uses the Heartless; they just go to him and then they use him.
Yep. To get to the keyhole.
Right. Kurt Jack, boss of the gorilla pack.
Kerchak.
Kerchak. What did I say?
Kurt Jack.
Oh, Kurt Jack.
Yeah,
Kerchak. Boss of the gorilla pack. He was against letting Tarzan join the group, but Kala's resolve won him over. Kerchak worries that Tarzan's contact with people will bring danger to the gorilla community. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, that's a thing in the movie, but that never comes up in the game.
Yeah, it does. Not Clayton. Not Clayton. Remember?
Yeah, but not. Well, Sora comes up, and it's not like they instantly like, Sora, get out of here. Like,
well, that's because you don't actually ever see them talk.
Yeah, that's true. They kind of they just are. Okay. Kala, the gorilla who found Tarzan in the jungle, she has always helped and defended him, even when he was scorned by the others. Kala is not happy about Tarzan's contact with people, but she knows it's important to him.
Yep.
And it says here, I don't say them because they're just kind of meh, but some of them, they have these little quips, like Kala, it says, she was second banana in Tarzan. I thought that was kind of funny.
You don't go full banana.
You don't go full banana. You never go full banana. Turk, a young female gorilla and Tarzan's close friend. She's protective of the other young gorillas and acts as their leader. Unlike the other gorillas, her curiosity about humans is greater than her fear of them.
And voiced by Rosie O'Donnell.
Now, I'm going to put this out there. I've only seen Rosie O'Donnell outside, because if you recall, she was a kind of a big thing for Nickelodeon when we were kids.
Yep.
But I've only ever seen her in two things, and I don't think she was that bad in those two things as an actor.
No, I always thought she was really cool.
I mean, I hear a lot of jokes about her, and I've made jokes about her, but I don't really... I mean, South Park made fun of her. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Here, I'm looking her up.
You have a famous relative? Who's that? Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, Lord.
By the way, it's Donald, not Donald.
Donald. Okay, Donald. Rosie
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell. Yeah. Oh, okay, because she's probably Irish.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell. let's see. I shouldn't have gone to the wiki. I should go to her fucking IMDb page
Pretty much.
to see what she does.
So Jane
But continue.
Jane Porter, a naturalist who is in the jungle with Clayton, her guide, to study gorillas. She met Tarzan in the jungle and is gradually teaching him about human ways. She's courageous and will face any danger for her research.
Very nice.
Now, you really got to give Jane some credit. Now, I don't think she gets a lot of credit in the movie because she's pretty much just kind of the catalyst for the things to come and the love interest. But check this out. She comes from England in the early 1900s, late 1800s?
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, I want to say either 1890s or the early 1910s. Like, whatever you call that first 10 years. And she decides, I'm going to abandon all of civilization to live with this one man and a pack of gorillas in a jungle where everything's trying to kill me.
Yeah. There's actually a, like, side movie or something about that I watched, and it was not terrible, but
Was it the
yeah,
Adventures
she
of
almost
Tarzan and
dies
Jane?
over and over and over.
Was
Yeah,
it-
I think it was just Tarzan and Jane.
You know, that's just a compilation of a couple of the episodes from the Tarzan
Oh, really?
series, yeah.
Like the one where her friends show up and they're all like, they all want to fuck Tarzan really bad.
Because he's Tarzan, they're just like,
Oh my god, he's a man.
he's a...
By the way, I'm looking at Rosie O'Donnell's filmography here, and I don't think she was on... What'd you say when we were kids?
I don't know any shows in particular, but Nickelodeon.
I don't know about that. I think you might be thinking of Lori Beth Denberg.
Wasn't Rosie O'Donnell in, did she host some Nickelodeon thing?
I'm looking at... She was on Harriet the Spy.
Okay, that was a Nickelodeon thing, I think.
She was Ol Golly, 1996.
Oh, God.
Basically, here, let me go through these. Give Me a Break, Stand By Your Man, A League of Their Own, Sleepless in Seattle, Another Stakeout, Fatal Instinct, Car 54, Where Are You, I'll Do Anything, All-Star 25th Birthday, Stars in Street Forever, The Flintstones. I mean, remember, she was Betty.
Yeah, okay, scratch it. I've seen 3 things with her in it.
Okay, The Ren and Stimpy Show. Probably on, like, 1 episode or something. Exit to Eden, Living Single, Bless This House, The Larry Sanders Show, or Sanders, Now and Then, Beautiful Girls, The Nanny, Harriet the Spy, All My Children, A Very Brady Sequel, The Twilight of the Golds, Spin City, Austin Powers Electric Pussycat Swingers Club, Wide Awake, Murphy Brown, Ally McBeal, Jackie's Back,
All right, this
Tarzan.
is not the Rosie O'Donnell podcast, so we can...
I know, I'm just saying, do any of those ringing any bells?
Harriet the Spy does, and A League of Their Own I've seen, and The Flintstones.
So yeah, I think you might be thinking of Lori Beth Denberg.
Because she's also a fat white chick that was in... she was in All That. I remember her from All That.
She was also always, like, the 4th contestant on Figure It Out.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking for her.
I love that show, by the way. Figure It Out was great.
Okay.
But anyway,
So the last
a
character...
little tangential there.
Last character is Tarzan. A young man raised from infancy by gorillas. His gorilla mother is Kala. Tarzan spoke only the language of apes until he met Jane. Since then, he's learning to speak English at an astonishing rate.
Yeah. Now, well, he is a fully grown adult.
But they actually say that learning a language as an adult is harder than learning a language as a child.
It's because your brain's not as receptive to learning.
Which is...
Because when you're a child, you like soak everything up.
Right. All right, so now that we've gone through the characters, do you want to say what happens and why the story of this place?
Of Deep Jungle? Alright, so when you first head over there, Sora and Donald start getting, like, they just start bickering, they're getting in a fight. He's like, oh, let's land down there. He's like, no, fuck that. It's like, the king won't be down there. Oh, but Riku and Kairi can. We're not stopping. We're gonna fucking stop. And then they fight, and they fall onto the, the place. They get separated. Donald and Goofy fall into a grove, and they meet Clayton. And Sora falls into the treehouse where he gets attacked by Sabor, and then Tarzan shows up and saves you. And then you go to the camp. And then at the camp, you meet Jane and Clayton. And actually, I know I'm going to mess some stuff up on this one because this level actually had a lot of back and forth. You had to go to the same place over and over, climb up here, go back over here, go back up there, go back over here. It was kind of annoying, but
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, you want to find the gorillas, and then you climb up and you meet the gorillas. Then something happens and the Heartless show up, and then you have to save the gorillas, and then you finally go and you fight Clayton. So there's not really a whole lot of story going along in that. You're just kind of like, you go over here, gorilla, you go over here. Oh, look, it's Kerchak. You climb up here. You go back to the tent. You go back out there. Oh, look, there's this. You go back to the tent. Like, it's actually, if I would change it, I would totally change the entire premise of the whole world. You know what I mean?
Like you said, there's
the layout is just fine.
The
but
layout is
the
really cool,
story-
especially the mini games. The sliding down the thing was really cool, and
Mhm.
but it's just a lot of okay. Now you have to go over here, and then you have to do a lot of, and it's super slow.
all the way back up here.
Yeah, if the climbing was a little bit better, and it wasn't just slowly going up a thing, or
The
it's
thing I
just,
do like is you get to fight a lot of Heartless.
you do.
But other than that, there's not a whole lot going on to the level.
No.
But if I were to design it, I probably would. I mean, obviously, I need to think more about it, but I'd probably do something along the lines of Donald and Goofy. Kind of what's going on is Sora and Donald are kind of fighting. And by the end, you kind of make up and then continue on your journey. And it's like, oh, we're better friends now. Right? So we can keep all that. We can keep that little, we're fighting. But instead of them just being split up, just, we're fighting, we show up to the world, and then Tarzan's doing something, and you have to save him, or you have to help him, or whatever, right? And you mess up somehow because Donald and... Like, you do the fight, and then after the battle, the cutscene, Sora and Donald kind of, like, step on each other's toes in a way, and fuck something up, and then Tarzan gets taken out. Something like that, right?
Right.
So then that's when the real fighting starts, and you're like, oh, fuck you. So then you take him to Jane, and he gets patched up, or what have you, and you get to meet all of them, and... Then I guess what could the main like story of the episode could, or the world could have to do with Clayton kind of trying to hunt the gorillas, and at first you're off doing stuff with Tarzan, and then you got to go stop Clayton, and so I think it'd be cool if there was like a kind of element where you have to track him because he's a tracker, and so
Right.
you're kind of following his clues, and then the final showdown being against him and not just him with a stealth sneak. The boss is the stealth sneak. He's just kind of there. I think it'd be better if you actually did fight him. And we can even keep his heart called the Heartless, and they could just kind of consume him, and then you could fight him as a Heartless, you know?
That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. And then obviously the mechanics of that fight would be vastly superior to the stealth snake, because it doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of invisible.
Okay. But other than that,
So
yeah,
obviously put more thought into it, but you can make it more interesting.
right. Which I guess there's a reason why the Tarzan world doesn't show up anywhere else. I mean, it was a cool idea, but I don't know. It just got super repetitive during it. A lot, like you said, climbing and
There's not a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
And the Tarzan movie is just kind of about him growing up. And then there's actually the story with Jane and them is really not that long. He meets her. He learns to talk. Kerchak's a dick. Kerchak's a dick. Clayton's a dick. And that's then the climax. That's basically the movie. And
movie in
obviously
a nutshell.
Can't have him go. Kerchak's the dick. Clayton's the
Kerchak's a
dick.
dick.
Sabor's a dick until she dies.
This movie's just full of like I could see you on the bottoms of like movies and DVDs where they'll say like 5 out of 5 stars. You'd be like full of dicks, just like
Yeah. This movie is filled to the brim with every dick imaginable.
just
There's tall dicks and short dicks.
and some more
Dicks
dicks.
and little dicks. Some dicks are fur.
But do you think
Some dicks are clean.
all right, as a whole, do you think that the pros of this world, the mass amount of Heartless and the mini games outweigh the constant having to run back and forth and slow climbing and
The world as a whole is not bad. Every time I went back to it, I had fun. It was great. But the story, the first time you're there, is just kind of tedious. That's
Yes,
all.
pretty much.
Oh,
Uh,
and then at the end, you fight, Clayton and the stealth sneak, and then you go into the falls, and then you find the heart of the world.
okay, so I'm gonna say about beating that guy. I found a way to beat him that was just kind of. I feel like it was a cheat.
Super easy.
So I climbed up onto this like wall, and the thing couldn't get me. And so what I would do is I'd just sit there and let Donald and Goofy, because he'd be focusing on me, and let Donald
Yeah.
and Goofy just wear him down, and then I'd jump down and take him out.
Yeah, hit him with the final blow.
Yeah.
For me, Proud Mode, this was literally the first hard part of the game. This is where I die multiple times until I prepare properly. Because you don't have heals, which is why you always want to bring Tarzan, because he does have heals. So he's helpful. But the problem with the AI is that they'll just use all their MP super fast and throw all their items super fast. And so you can get caught off guard and die really easily because Clayton's just sitting there shooting you. And it's not like you can really dodge that. I mean, I guess you could if you dodge rolled when he shot,
Right.
but he stays at range and he just kind of shoots you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he can actually do quite a bit of damage. So you can get jibbed pretty quickly where the stealth sneak will like run over and punch you and then immediately you'll get shot. And then you're like, oh, that's fucking cool. But the very first part with Clayton, very, very fucking easy. You kill the like 5 power wilds, whatever. Go over, you hit him a few times. He'll try to jump away from you, and if you hit him with combo attacks, he'll like fly away from you. You basically push him into the corner and then just wail on him. Super easy. Then the stealth sneak comes out and it's invisible. It's like, oh no, how do we fight what's invisible? Well, pretty easily. You just run over and fucking hit it.
Pretty much. You get
So
it.
usually what I do is I throw Donald and Goofy, well, Goofy and Tarzan at his face, and then I just kind of stay back. And then once Tarzan eventually puts the fucking windshield on me, because I'm pretty sure he has that at this point, then you run in and just beat on him and just kind of dodge roll like crazy and just hope for the best. Like, that's really all of the strategy I can give you for that fight. But then when you beat it and you get Cure, the rest of the game is just fucking easy.
You also get another Keyblade in this world.
Yes, it's your first new Keyblade.
Yes, the Jungle King is what it's
Mhm.
called, and it's
And
really
it's long.
cool. It's like, isn't it the one with bones? It kind of has
Yeah.
like a, which is really brutal now that I think about it. You get a key made of bones as your weapon, and let's see what it does. I don't remember offhand.
It has a long reach, and I think it can deal strong critical blows or some shit like that.
Jungle King. Yeah, it has
You have a
long
list?
reach but seldom does critical blows.
Seldom does critical blows. Ah.
So you can hit more.
So it's really not that great.
Yeah, not really.
It's
But it
kind
is
of
the
actually
first Keyblade you
fucking
get.
shit. Yeah, definitely better than the Kingdom Key.
Oh yeah, because the Kingdom Key is just your basic weapon.
Just funny. The Kingdom Key is just shit.
Yeah, you have to get the keychains to make it better.
Yep. But the keychains are like the symbol of your friendship, and that's why the Keyblade gets stronger. Because I don't know if you remember later, way later at Hollow Bastion, before Sora gets the Keyblade back when he's got the wooden sword, he's like, "My power comes from my friends," or some shit like that.
Right.
And then he gets the Keyblade back. It's basically friendship. Friendship is the power. Friendship is magic.
Gross.
Why gross, dude? Fuck you.
Nah. Just. So what do you think?
Mopfim.
What do you think of the bosses? The shadows, the Stealth Sneak, Clayton, and Sabor as bosses.
Sabor is awesome. Very simple. There doesn't need a lot of mechanics. It's a fucking leopard, but he can hit pretty hard and he moves quickly. So Sabor is just fun till you eventually kill her and then you get the like White Fang or something. Which I think I had the White Fang equipped on someone until way late in the game because it's pretty good. It gives you like health, strength, and defense or some shit like that. So
Okay.
Clayton, pretty easy. Like, there's not really a whole lot I would change about him. He's pretty much how I would see. He's just a man with a gun.
Yeah.
So, but the stealth sneak, I would just get rid of altogether and just for Clayton after you beat him the first time, the Heartless just kind of swarm him and suck him into the ground or some shit like that, and then he comes back up as a Heartless version of himself. That's how I would have changed it, and I
Yeah, I
think it
mean,
would
I
have been
get it.
a lot better.
I
But
get the Shadow Sneak. He's a chameleon, which is a I don't know. I guess they are in.
Madagascar, it's like a jungle,
Yeah,
thing.
but you know what I think would have been cool when he turned into, like you said, he would turn into a Heartless. Like his Heartless was like a gorilla,
That would be pretty cool.
and then he had to fight gorilla version of
Of Clayton. And he would definitely still have to have his gun, because that's like the symbol of him being a hunter.
Yes, that would
But-
be real, or just him like maybe taller and bulkier, but with a bigger gun. Just kind of.
Or he just like summons guns everywhere, just shoots at you from all angles. But that would be more like a... See, saying it right now, here's something that I would absolutely do if I wanted to do it better. Have the option to refight all the bosses, but at harder difficulties. Like, if there was a way you could go back and refight every boss in the game at level 100, I would fucking jump at that chance. Just for the fun of it, you know?
Right.
And then that would be the thing. If there was the Heartless version of Clayton, the level 100 version of him would have him summoning fucking guns everywhere and shit like that.
Yes.
Because obviously it would be much harder.
So what do you think of in this world? You got a couple new enemies. The mushroom.
I'm not sure, but I think the yellow opera shows up. Pretty easy.
The green opera shows up. Well, the green requiem shows up.
In this level?
Yeah.
Where are you at, by the way? What's telling you what shows up? Because I just have a list of Heartless.
Oh, I don't know. I just have I'm just on this site, and at the very bottom, it shows me a picture of all of the Heartless that show up.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is, it doesn't tell you, like, some of these Heartless I'm sure do show up, but not until later. Like, there's this guy, the Wyvern, but I don't remember the Wyvern ever showing up until way, way late.
Hollow Bastion. Yeah, Wyvern showed up in the Hollow
Well, I
Bastion.
mean,
but he appears again.
No, I'm saying the Wyvern does show up in Deep Jungle, but not until way, way later.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but White Mushroom you got introduced to, and so did the Power Wild.
Well, but the White Mushroom, unless this was the first time you can fight it, you can find them in Wonderland.
Wonderland? You could find them in Wonderland?
Yeah, in the woods.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't remember. Did we talk about them? I don't think so.
Nah, we didn't.
Okay, so these are actually kind of tricky enemies here. You're not supposed to just go up and beat them like you would everybody else. You're actually supposed to. They're gonna do something, and then you're supposed to do a spell on them to correspond with it. Like they'll shiver, you do fire.
Yep.
They'll like fan themselves.
themselves.
You do blizzard, and then there's always one that I never got, which is like some kind of light appears over their head, and they look all sulking, and they're just kind of like
They're out of energy, and then you use lightning to supercharge them.
oh, okay.
I guess. That's what I'm guessing. They fall down, you cure them. They spin, you use arrow. They freeze, you use stop. They float in the air, you use gravity. And then if you do it 3 times without, correctly, yeah, then they'll give you an art of the corresponding spell. If you get all of the various arts, you go to Merlin and you get you get Lord Fortune, I think, for Donald.
Oh, okay.
Or actually, no, you get Lord Fortune from the Fairy Godmother, I think. You get the Spellbinder Keyblade.
Oh, okay. Which I don't think I've ever gotten because I just never did the.
It's magic based. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why. What did you think?
And also, they have a chance to drop the Mystery Goo, which you will be farming these white mushrooms for fucking ever if you want to do all the synthesis. Because you need Mystery Goos like crazy. Up the wazoo.
Up the wazoo. What do you think of the Heartless, the Power Wilds, and the Bouncy Wilds?
So the Power Wilds are awesome. They're exactly what I would imagine a Heartless monkey to be.
Right, they do that whole scratch thing, like cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, and then...
And they jump up in the air, and they like jump sideways, and they slide across the ground, and they just kind of like dancing around. They're very monkey-like, and that's really all I can say. I wouldn't change them. I think they're pretty well done. And then the Bouncy Wild are just annoying. Like, the fucking, when they throw the bananas down, Goofy always immediately runs right into it, just
Yep.
because.
Yep.
Like, for whatever reason. And then all of your money goes flying everywhere. And you're like, oh shit, that's so much money. And you go and pick it all up, and it's like 100 money.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
oh
actually-
yeah, that's right. The money is actually not very, not very great in this game.
Nah. And then the Bouncy Wild is just a female version. It's
Trickier. And they die really fast. Actually, what I always do is just hit them with a thunder.
yeah, they bounce. They're called Bouncy Wilds because they move. They're because they have lower health. They tend to stay away, like move around a lot more. Try
They
to like
scamper about during battle.
yeah.
Hmm.
And
And then actually, there is a Sniper Wild, which is a Bouncy Wild, rare Heartless that you find later in Traverse Town. But we'll go over the rare Heartless later when we talk about synthesis.
and then there's one more thing, which I don't remember if you can do the first time around or if you have to come back for. But that mini game with the little guys.
Oh yeah, that's actually not a mini game. That's one of the rare Heartless.
Really, it's rare, but
That's-
they're almost always there though.
They're not. The
Oh.
way the rare Heartless work is they show up in a certain place. There's one per world, and you got to do the thing to get a special rare synthesis item, and they're not always there. But if you keep resetting, you can continually get them over and over. Obviously,
Oh, okay.
they're just a rare Heartless. And for the Black Ballad, they pop into a row of 5. One jumps in the air, and then they all fly around, and then they get back into a group of 5. Then you got to go pick the right one, and if you miss, they electrocute you.
It's just-
if not, you get.
It's essentially that thing where you put the ball under 3 cups and they move it around, and you just have to.
Yeah. Only way harder because they fly super retardedly fast.
And they all look alike too. So what I did, I don't know if you find this cheating or not, but I would just pause every couple of seconds to try to keep up with it.
Well, not every couple seconds because that'd be really slow, but just over and over.
Yeah, just over and over and over, just to keep up with the. Because otherwise, you're going to have a hard time, unless you just have that good of eyesight. Because a lot of times, what they'll do is they
Fly
will
through each other.
through each other, and sometimes they'll change direction like very sharply. So you're like, wait, which one is the one I'm following?
They really throw you the fuck off. But yeah, that gets you one of the rare. The rare Heartless weren't in the normal game; they were in Final Mix, and they give you rare synthesis items to make items that you couldn't make in the original.
Right.
So, but is that all? Is that all? We're good with Deep Jungle?
I believe so. I mean, yeah. Here's an interesting little tidbit about the game.
Okay.
It's another one of those. How do you say if you didn't do this, the cutscenes will change. Remember in
Yeah.
Okay, so in this game, once you beat Deep Jungle, there's a cutscene where they show a captured one of the captured princesses. I don't know if you remember that.
Really?
Yeah, well, it says here that there is a cutscene which depicts a captured princess of Heart before the Disney villains. But if you already beat Wonderland, then it'll be Alice. But if you have not, it's Snow White.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's most of the time it's Alice for me because I usually do Wonderland first. Usually.
You would kind of beat them in order.
Yeah, for the most part. Although I do go to the Coliseum sometimes. Although a lot of times I'll go to the Coliseum first, and then because I'm on Proud Mode, I just won't have leveled up enough, and I'll just get like owned by Cerberus or something, and then I'll have to come back and beat him later. But
Okay.
that's whatever.
And then yeah, other than that, I think that's.
All right,
I don't
that
know.
sounds good, and I think we're pretty good for this episode. We got up to Deep Jungle, which means next one we can start on Traverse Town again, the second run through, and then go right into Agrabah.
Right, which is whoa, that's gonna be a fun one to talk about.
Dude, I love Aladdin.
I know. So
It is my favorite Disney movie, except for The Hunchback, obviously.
Which I'm sure you're kind of sad that the Hunchback world didn't make it into this game or Kingdom Hearts 2.
But it is in Birth by Sleep, so I can't wait to play that.
Yes, me too.
So,
But join us again on our next episode when we do this or some other stuff that we enjoy doing.
yep.
And
Hell yeah.
And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you super like us, you'll subscribe.
Yeah. If you want to catch more, like, subscribe, go ahead. You can share us with your friends at school.
Because presumably
Or-
we're Justin just he said we're aiming for a school-going audience. If you don't
We're aiming for stupid, ignorant people.
If you don't go to school, well then we don't want you. Get out of here.
You're all a bunch of pieces of trash. You're all fucking faggots.
All right. Well, we were your hosts.
I jest.
I was Chris.
If you want more, subscribe, like, and comment. You should comment, too.
And with me today was Justin.
I'm Justin.
Yeah, he is.
That's me.
And we will see you next time.
Peace.